so it really has been an amazing 10 years. Theories basically ate that decade. It really was kicked off with a meeting that Peter Gassi invited me to. Periodically, he would reach, which is a huge, huge distance. He would reach across the way to the main quad, which nobody here generally does, and find me and say, I think we're having a conference that might interest you. And the conference that I attended was one in which a whole bunch of lawyers were complaining that copyright was really constraining of creativity. And I listened to all those arguments, and I thought, makes excellent sense. Cannot argue with this logically. Haven't heard anybody talk about any particular creative person or provide any data. It turns out later, Peter says, well, lawyers don't do that. They don't do the data work. But I was really intrigued. And I had a conversation with Peter where I said, the thing that really it gives me pause is that I know the world of documentary film extremely well. And these are not people who are talking about how their creative rights are constrained at all. They're talking about how terrible the digital environment is for people stealing their stuff. And that's what they're really worried about. If this is true, how would we know it? How would we be able to say? Because really what you're talking about is imagination constraint. You're talking about, or imagination that has never happened because this creativity is constrained. How would you go about it? And we actually had a wonderful talk, brainstorming. We actually got somebody to pay for the research to explore that with filmmakers. And that resulted in the project that has now involved 10 communities and 10 codes of best practices, and it has taught me so much. The premise of everything here is really simple. In fact, I asked one group to sign on of documentary scholars to one of the codes, the documentary code, and they said, "Well, we can't do that because this has always been a radical critique organization, and this project is centrist." And I said, it certainly is. Because really the whole project is premised on the basis that knowing your fair use rights improves your ability to make the culture you want to make and to your work appropriately. And it's been amazingly successful, but it's had this unexpected benefit for me as well. And I think for Peter as well, because it's given us this front row seat on the psychological effects of self-censorship. And the terms of coming to grips with the fact that that is actually happening in your life and what it takes to assume responsibility for the self-censorship and then take some action on it. And it's given us a look at the profound and warping effects of internalizing hurt and outrage. So we began this whole thing because of that disconnect between what the lawyers are saying they're sure is happening, because it makes so much sense, and the experience of creative groups who are not really seeing it. What we found in working with the filmmakers is that they actually had a pretty straightforward reason why they weren't expressing this. Their whole attitude is, I am really proud of being a professional and surviving in this difficult environment. And I know how to do things. And one of the things I know you should never do is have a thought about a project that you can't execute. Because you have promised people, you've taken their money, you've launched, you made a huge investment in resources. Your company at risk. Why would you try to undertake anything that you couldn't do? So the long list of things that they know they can't do starts to spill out. That then gets shown back to them for the first time in that form ever. They are now looking at what really looks like self-censorship. In other words, they're just not coming up with those ideas because they know they can't do that. And so then their response to get irritated, often at us. They're like, well, you should do something about this. And it takes a while to convince them. I mean, I think it takes a while to convince people generally that if there's this problem, and if they are complicit in this problem, and they could do something, that they are the prime actors to do something about it by being able to clarify what already exists in the law. And the filmmakers, like other people in this, went a long way to say, you should really do that, but with someone else. Like our lawyers, like our broadcasters, like all these other people who we could do that. But the reason we're not having those ideas is because we can't. And it took so, you had to work with them to say, we would love to fix it that way. The problem is that all those people are fine. They're really fine with the arrangement. You are the people who are having problems. You're the creative people. You're the people who are not having the ideas. They don't really care if you don't have those ideas. So it took a while to own the problem. But once they owned the problem, then they got really angry. And then they were like, you mean I paid $6,000 to license Happy Birthday and it might not even be copyrighted? You mean I paid $2,000 for a ringtone? And so they're beginning, and it turns out that what this anger that they're expressing is an anger that has its roots in an ethical understanding of what's really fair. And they've been putting up with this because they thought there was this custody bargain, that they needed their rights, they needed ownership, that they needed to, that's their business model, somebody has to pay them for this stuff. And in order to do that, they swallow this sense of like, there's something weird about having to pay for Happy Birthday. When I never asked those people to have a birthday, much less sing about it. In my movie. So they start to get angry. And then, but the glorious thing that happens is that they get a sense of, when they understand what the law actually permits, they get a sense of alignment between their sense of ethics and etiquette and the law. And they're like, the law permits me to be able to charge people, and it permits me to be able to. But all of these rights are bounded rights. All of them are bounded. Oh, balance. And that concept of balance gives them back an ability to exercise ethics. Nothing can get mad if somebody, as often happens, some major broadcaster takes a huge chunk of their documentary, uses it as a core part of a news segment, and doesn't pay them anything. That's wrong. And at the same time, they can say, I shouldn't have to pay for something. Because there's a logic to it. This is all about keeping culture going. So, that bounded nature, both of the right of monopoly and the right of fair use, is terrifically important. But at the same time, I have to say, self-censorship, let's learn, goes really, really, really deep. We just did a study of the doc filmmakers because they're the first ones we worked with. Over 10 years, the field has completely changed. When we started, nobody would accept fair use. Not broadcasters, not insurers. Now they all do. Nobody would put fairly used material into their films because they couldn't get them accepted. Now everybody says, yes, I recently did this in a recent film. What was weird is we asked this one question and we said, if you could do anything without regard to copyright, what kinds of things would you make? And they gave us wonderful ideas, and the weird thing is almost all of them you do now on the fair use. But they haven't given themselves permission to dream that big. So the stunting of imagination is a very, very, very expensive thing. It's expensive at the level of society, which all the people here know, and it's something that the good legal scholars have told us about. But it's really hard on people individually as well, because it suppresses that what they really would like to be doing, and what they want to be doing in a very ethical way that doesn't mean that they're being unfair. We most recently were working with people in the visual arts, and one where from the day you begin in the visual arts, people are telling you that you have to get permission for everything all the time. Never, ever get anything without having permission all the time. And, you know, it's such a constraint on people's ability to act that they end up with these projects that, to me, they look like bonsais, you know, like they're very nicely done and show vigorous effort to survive under really, really terrible conditions. And it also makes, within the 2 years that we've been working with the visual arts community to create this book, which I'm really excited to see what we've done, we've also seen that when people first get the information that really they don't have to go to that length in legal terms anyway, there's almost a sense of somebody opened my cage, close that door. Because it's so alarming to think of what you haven't done or what you might be able to do if you're not now really sure of what to do. So it is a very, very expensive thing to constrain imagination and constrain creativity. And creating this balanced framework for people does create an enormous liberation for them and an ability to align that with their sense of ethics. So for me, the biggest thrill of this last 10 years for me has been to be able to see the experience of people in their creative processes and to see where those points are where they're not doing work which they'd like to do, and then help them decide to put their own hand on the door handle to the escape hatch. So thank you.
So I'm going to talk from the creative side of things. First of all, for those who aren't familiar with Retro Report, we create short documentaries that live primarily on the New York Times website as well as distributed by others. And we have just, this week was our 61st in the last 2.5 years. So Peter mentioned it's at quite a pace. But we're not just a production company. We're also a nonprofit with a mission. And our mission is to bring context and perspective to the events today and to news coverage today by looking back and re-reporting and reanalyzing what you might think of as old stories and how they continue to play out. One of the first stories we did was on the so-called crack baby epidemic. In the 1980s, there was a flurry of news reports about this epidemic of crack babies